Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Mindhunter Season 1, Episode 6. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, first of all, this was a shorter episode, so I would imagine this will be a shorter discussion. I mean, that
It's usually
usually
how it goes.
it usually works out, although sometimes we find ourselves surprised, and it does the opposite. But so this one, as we kind of predicted, was focusing largely on the case that we kind of left dangling after the last two episodes, which was this Benji Frank Rose double, triple. One of them did it. All of them did it. Boobs
Yeah.
get cut off murder. So we kind of dealt with that, and we had a lot of cross examinations. We had interrogations jumping between Frank and Benji, and Bill and Holden coming in and being very kind of aggressive and getting like the one answer and then like packing up the tape recorder and walking back out and uh,
Yeah.
really digging for it and trying to get them to sort of catch each other out.
Lots of just cutting between the two suspects.
Yeah, yeah. So you had them dealing with the case and that side of things, and then the other part of the episode, well, there are two parts of the episodes. We had again going back to the personal lives. We had a sort of family dinner. Well, family to say family dinner, but like Bill and his wife had Holden and Debbie over for dinner,
Yeah.
and Bill's wife got to meet him for the first time. So we got a little bit more personal stuff in that sense, and then otherwise though, Wendy maybe got the most time this episode in the sense that she actually got invited to come work at the FBI full time doing this project.
Mm.
Which makes a difference from a couple ago where it was like, oh, we're hiding you in the basement. Uh, but we actually get some more personal stuff with her because like why is she tempted to not take it? What's holding her back? What's keeping her in Boston?
It feels like most episodes I would say is, the Bill and Holden stuff, and then the case is the side thing.
Mm.
Whereas here it's kind of like, okay, so the Wendy stuff's the main one, and then the case is the side thing. So almost there's just not quite enough to justify it.
Yeah, it's more bit more even. Maybe that's just a symptom of it being kind of the third episode of the same case. And it's funny because we talked about how we expected them to lose something, and they do kind of lose this one. In a sense,
Yeah, in a way.
basically the DA, the local DA, is not willing to go with their idea that both or all three did it.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things, they think it's the two guys, and then Wendy hears the recording of Rosie's story from the end of the last episode and notices one word which is in present tense instead of past tense, the splashing of the blood, and basically deducts that no, she was there while she was still alive. All three of them were complicit in this, and they go back to try and convince the DA of this. Specifically, Holden, and he actually takes Wendy. Wendy for the first time actually goes
Yeah.
out on site, as it were, not to talk to other criminals or anything like that, just to talk to the DA. And we encounter this problem that we've kind of brought up before, where okay, your theory's solid, your theory of why this went down this way, and she describes it. It was started with one character, and then the other one got involved, and then they were all complicit, and talks about how what triggers were there. What was the word she used? Stresses. This was a
Yeah.
stress, and this caused this. But basically, it boils down to, can we sell that to a jury? Do they understand this? We have to put it in kind of layman's terms to sell it as a package so that they understand it and make a call.
Ironically, I wonder if that's one of the benefits of CSI and all that bollocks, in the sense that it's so mainstream and so many people have seen it that now a jury, you could say these sorts of things to a jury and you could probably get away with that.
Maybe, I don't know if it's specifically attribute those shows with it, because I don't know if CSI actually even deals with
Uh,
that.
I mean that deals with the idea of, okay, they're all, they could all be this, it could all be that. I
Does it
mean,
though?
from the small snippets I've seen.
Maybe it's just the name, but I assumed it was more about the finding
Yeah,
clues
it's actually
rather
about,
than.
yeah, the forensics and stuff. But by the end of the episodes, it's always seems to be in most of these shows. It always seems to be, so this is what happens, and then lays it out like Wendy does to the DA in this. That's pretty much the end of every episode from what I've seen in the past.
I'll take your word for. I've never watched an episode, so I'll take your word for it.
Lucky you.
I never got the impression they went into anything past the.
Oh no, they do a wrap up of this is what happened.
Right, okay. I never got the
So
impression they actually went to like past the arrest. Like, no, we've got our man. That's it. We're done.
yeah, that no, you're right. It is that, but then to get to that point, they always do. Oh, and this is the whole thing. So this is who we should
Okay,
arrest.
okay, yeah. I'm not willing to give credit to that, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. TV and movies have kind of gotten us to a point now where we understand some of these concepts a little bit more.
Yeah.
But again, you have to admit that in the 70s, this was probably a harder sell.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I think it's frustrating because we know they're right, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, okay, I get why the DA is doing this. Better to get one of them than none.
Because even Bill early on, when he's debating with them, he's like, look, like odds are it's the husband, the boyfriend. He's like the one
Yeah,
who's likely to be, and that's kind of what the DA is also going with. And he's giving Frank a plea. And their argument that this is a big loss. It's not just the fact that they're not all equally getting into trouble. It's a big loss because they think Frank's the most dangerous one, and he's the one that's getting let off,
yeah.
easier. Whereas Benji is likely going to the electric chair. And while he is dangerous, Frank is the one that's the more vindictive, the one that's more likely to develop
I
into
think
more things.
I think it's they do believe that Benji's was a situational. It was, of the moment. It was almost a crime of passion sort of thing. Even though
Mm.
it was a little bit more thought out at the time, it was still very specific to this one person. They didn't feel like there was much chance of him doing this to others. Whereas Frank has a
And
history, a track record of being like this around
and it
others.
was spurred on by Frank. Frank sort of
Yeah,
encouraged it, and because the way they tell the story is that Benji caught him raping her, and
yeah.
then he twisted it into murdering her with Benji's help.
Mm.
So certainly he's the one who started the process and then kind of drove it. Now, obviously, Benji's. I mean, everything we've heard about him is that he's this like sweet little puppy dog that everyone looks after.
Yeah.
Is he easily, admittedly, being coerced into this violent a crime? Is
He seems very impressionable.
yeah. And they say that he's the one who went back after the fact and mutilated the body. That wasn't actually originally done. That was later.
No, that was later.
As
But
an
that
interesting
was
idea.
presumably part of him not being able to deal with all of this.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, for them it's a loss, and they're not particularly happy with the DA at the end. The DA tries to be friendly, just doing my job, but they kind of see this. No, you've done something kind of harmful here. That yes, you for the sake of the win, for the easier, more confident win, you've kind of not accomplished anything long term.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the wrap up of the case. And of course, in terms of the personal stuff, we had the dinner, which obviously even Bill just inviting him. It's like, oh yeah, the wife's
Insisting that I have to.
insisting. So
He was though, and please say no. Please say no.
it
Please
kind
say
of
you
was.
can't.
And instead he's like, can I bring Debbie? It's like, yeah, of course, I suppose.
I suppose. Can't really say no, can
Yeah.
I?
I was actually getting really nervous when they come in and he sits down next to his son. I was like, oh god, what observation is he going to make that's going to freak Bill out?
Yeah. Even on that side, when he goes, "Oh, can I bring Debbie?" I'm like, she's not going to want to go. Just something like that. Just to, it's not going to go to plan.
To Holden's credit, though, he I mean, obviously the kid's being weird and quiet and not responding to anything, but Holden does what any reasonable person would probably do and try and interact with them and whatever.
Yeah.
But they sit down at the table, and what the moment I loved at the table, because we find out that we kind of hinted at this before with the way Bill described marriage and how if it was a married man he'd have mutilated the body first before he killed her. But we see, maybe they're in a bit of a tight spot. Maybe these issues with their sons causing stress on the relationship and so on. Because there's these little digs that his wife makes at him. Nancy's the wife's name. But one that I particularly liked that sort of built up is she says, "Oh, does Holden talk to you about the case and talk to you about his work?" And we know that he does. We hear it all the time. And she says, "Oh yeah, he never shuts up." And I immediately thought of how the criminals don't shut up the cops. Like they want to talk about their work all the time.
Yeah.
And I just kind of related the two as if kind of in the old fashioned idea of the ball and chain, and they're the keepers, but he's he wants to constantly talk about everything, and whereas Bill's more normal because he doesn't. in a weird way. So I thought that was
Yeah,
an interesting
no,
little
it
touch.
goes back to that idea we've been saying. Holden's not normal in that sense. He's got a bit more in common with these people, and this is just one of these things that kind of adds up to it.
Yeah, I wonder if they're building to anything because they talk about how they. It's Nancy is saying to Debbie that they actually they know that the son was in foster care or whatever for like 13 months. He was at an orphanage for like
Yeah,
13
but they
months.
don't know anything before that.
Yeah, are they setting up some sort of revelation there? Like he came from something really bad, some sort of violent family, or he witnessed something really bad, or I don't know. It just the way they talked about it was like, are we going to find out where he came from?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like he's gone through something traumatic in the sense that, he's very quiet. It's like there's something that he's seen, sort of thing.
Yeah. But no, so that was basically that. It was very awkward. um, I
Mm.
particularly liked the end of the scene where Holden kind of prods Bill to open up about his son or whatever, and then he just responds with, "Do you want another drink?" And that's the end of the scene. Like that's just like, oh, that's how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
deal with it. It's like,
Yeah, they have that whole thing of, oh, the mothers seem to be a trend, and
mm,
and Holden's like, well, parents as a whole, there's some, they mentions the
yeah, yeah,
father issues of this last case, and that makes Bill pretty uncomfortable. He's like, no, I don't want to think about that. Let's just blame it all on the mothers. I don't want to be, I don't want to be anything to blame for this.
yeah. Let's get more whiskey and drown ourselves,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much
that's pretty much it.
like a real man.
So, well, as 70s values would dictate,
Yes,
yes.
exactly.
So jumping over to Wendy, so we get this scene early on where she's offered this job and she's basically turning it down right away, but Shepard's like, no, 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 sleep on it. You don't have to answer right now. Like, go away, think about it, sleep on it. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell Bill and Holden. And we see throughout the episode that her life is kind of difficult, and at one point Holden unknowingly kind of stumbles onto like her thought process because he starts asking, "Oh, is it becoming a bit of a struggle? All this commuting, all this long drives and
Yeah,
plane
yeah. And
rides."
she's like, what do you know?
Yeah, and it makes sense because he talks about how when they first started doing the road school stuff, he's like, yeah, the travel can get a bit taxing. You get kind of you get tired from it, and we see actually her go back home. She goes back home a day early, and we find out that she has a. It's actually kind of neatly teased early in the episode because she's asked, are you married? Do you have kids? And she says none to both, to both. And at the time you're like, oh, she's a career focused woman.
Yeah,
She
she's like, what's keeping you? She goes, oh, I've got a job at the university. But even then, it didn't seem that convincing.
yeah,
Like in the
yeah,
scene, it was like, okay, it seems like there's more, but
yeah.
whatever.
But it turns out she's gay. She has a partner, who's also a sort of academic type, very, very.
Yeah.
I almost need subtitles and translations. I mean, not quite, but when we're talking and we're just conversing back and forth, maybe not so much with them, but see when they go to the dinner with their I presume
Mm.
gay friends, like the two guys,
Yeah.
and they're just like theorizing back and forth at each other. I'm like, all right, okay, come on, this.
Dumb it down for us, please.
Let's dial it down. I mean, I was following it, but dial it down a bit. But because they kept quoting like philosophers and stuff, and it was like, come on now. But of course, the gist of what they were talking about is the idea of people are on a stage, but everyone needs a backstage, like somewhere where they can go to be just them. That even like their most closest people don't, they don't even need to let them out. It's just a place for
Yeah.
them on their own. And you kind of get the sense that Wendy doesn't really get that with her. Because she kind of poo-poos the idea that she's even working with the FBI.
Well, yeah, I mean, she says that when Wendy's like, oh, not Wendy, sorry, the other one was like, oh, but isn't it hard over there? You got to hide half your life because they don't know you're gay, and she's like, well, yeah, but I have to hide half my life here because I can't tell anyone I'm working with the FBI.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, it's like apples and oranges. One's clearly a bigger secret than the other, but the point is she can't be herself at either place.
Yeah, there's part of her hidden either way she goes, and it's which part of it's more fulfilling for her right now. And given how, even just in these couple of scenes, we see how she's sort of not treated poorly necessarily, but the way her feelings here are dismissed is
Yeah,
kind of
it's an
like,
afterthought, isn't it?
yeah, and it's when it's almost her girlfriend unknowingly in the dinner scene actually, or the drink scene at the bar, unknowingly kind of like gives her the example she needs to sort of see, oh, okay, I want to do what's right for me, and that's why she makes a choice. And it's because she says, like she says, "Oh, you don't consider yourself working for the FBI?" It's like, no, of course not. But later on, we see her getting an apartment, near her new work, and the estate agent or whoever's like, "Oh, so what, you work with the bureau?" She's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess I do." And she kind of says, "Oh, I guess I kind of am, but
Yeah,
a researcher, but like, yeah."
yeah, that's pretty much the end of the episode, isn't it?
I'm like, oh, she's probably going to go to Shepherd. Like, what a badge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we don't even get to see that. Maybe it already happened because we have that moment where, she's down with the others, and she's like, right, okay, I need an office. Let's get me set up.
Yeah, I like how she never actually told them anything. She just says, "Oh, I'm taking that room for my office." And like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah. And then there's a great scene with Holmes like, well, I guess she's staying. Feels like, well done, Sherlock.
Yeah. So it's nice that she's made a conscious choice to again commit to this.
Yeah.
Like everyone kind of has. We've seen Bill go from being kind of skeptical about the whole thing to seeing it as important.
And I like that no one just comes out and goes, yeah, I'm on board with this. I'm doing this. We get it through her saying, yeah, I'm going to have an office here. And, oh, okay, I'm getting an apartment. That's enough to go, oh, she's chosen this. We don't need her to come out and say it in dialogue. We don't need any exposition. We get it
and
through
it feels
context.
in character. You go back to the end of episode 4 when they're in that elevator when they find out about the money and they find out they're getting approved to actually do this.
And they don't say anything.
That big smirk in her face. Like,
Yeah.
it fits her character that she is into this, that she wants to do this, that she believes in this. Which way I think actually they bring she brings out like a new killer for them to go and talk to. This I can't remember the name, but this other killer who raped and killed people.
Something to do with socks or shoes or something.
Yeah, he had a shoe fetish. He had like hundreds of women's shoes that he masturbated with, and
this is the only reason I remember that story was memorable enough. I don't remember the name, but it was definitely.
I oddly have not a personal me, but I have a story related to such an individual from my past. Again, not directly me.
A friend.
No. It was this was in school. A girl in my year at school.
Is this PG-13?
Oh yeah. Like ultimately, it's just more creepy than it is dangerous on its own, right? I mean, arguably this individual might be up to worse things elsewhere, but on the on the cycle path one day was essentially mugged by a creep for her shoes. Actually, no. Sorry, let me rephrase this because I remember finding the story a little bit amusing because it was for one shoe, not both shoes. He stole.
Who steals one shoe?
He stole one of her shoes, and them. I mean, I think we all just assumed, oh, it's some creepy pervert guy who wants some teenage girl shoe.
I think it has to be because if it's one shoe, I mean, even if they're expensive shoes, you go, okay, you're going to take both shoes and I'm going to sell these.
Oh yeah, as far as I know, there was no theft of like a purse or like a phone, watch, anything like that. It was
just one shoe,
just the shoe. So
who goes through the effort of mugging someone for one shoe?
I think on principle, even if I was just doing it for perverted reasons, I think on principle I want both. just because for OCD, you want to say it.
For perverted reasons, twice the fun, surely.
I mean, you can only stick it in one at a time.
Well, yeah, but you can use one and then the other.
You can clean the other one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you've got a back.
It's like the same reason that you have more than one plate. You go, well, I can use the other one.
It's not the exact same reason.
In terms of using it, you use a plate, and then you go, well, I don't need to clean this immediately. I can use the next plate.
Oh, that conversation got weird very quick. But yeah, this person also amputated breasts. Not in all of the cases, seemingly.
Sorry, okay, we're back on the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're back in the show. Not this person. This was this was the last I heard of that. Like that was the only thing we heard. Was
that escalated real quickly for a
guy
second
jumped
there.
out, stole a shoe. That was the whole story. But I remember even at the time, when I think I was like 16 at the time. I was like, just one shoe.
Why was she walking on a psychopath?
I don't know. Maybe it was the way home.
Yeah, but psychopaths are for bikes, not for people. It's her own fault.
I think it was a psychopath. It's been a long time, all right. Well,
I just want to call you out on shit.
the location of the incident may be not entirely accurate. Okay.
See, now I don't know if I can trust any of this
I
story.
seem to remember it being. Look, you don't remember guy jumps out and steals one shoe. That part you remember.
All right, I'll let you off.
Anyway, so the killer in the show. But anyway, so the amputated breasts. Apparently, he made a paperweight out of them. He bronzed them and made a paperweight out of the breast. I remember that detail. That was pretty specific and whatnot.
Oh, it is, isn't it? I mean, who does that?
Well, you look it
Even
up.
weird serial killers. Who
You're,
does that?
you're googling something there. What about
I
paperweight
want to see this
breasts?
sock killer name. I want to see if I can find his name. I'm sure it was a sock killer or shoe killer. It's really bothering me.
Well, he's probably in the next episode if you look at the credits, but then that may spoil other things, so maybe not.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Oh dear. So we've got this killer. I love that. When she's okay, we need to talk to more killers. Bill's like, Holden's like, oh, hopefully this one's like Kemper, and Bill's like, yeah, remember the days when they're actually missing Kemper when things were simpler.
The shoe fetish slayer.
Is that what he's called?
I mean, it sounds like the guy looking on Wikipedia. But other names, the lust killer.
Shoe fetish slayer is a bit like it's a bit shit.
Yeah. It also doesn't sound like the name that I heard of the show, but it sounds like the right guy.
It also sounds like he's a slayer of shoe fetishes.
Does he? Yeah, maybe he slays people who have shoe fetishes.
Kind of like how one might be the slayer of vampires. Kind of like a hit television show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I gave you that one as soon as I read it out. You were just waiting, weren't you?
I was building up to it, then I wanted to just jump right in. I wanted you to think that at the moment it passed. And
No, I was waiting. I knew it was coming as soon as I read that, and I thought, do I say it?
So the key point here as well is that she's like the questionnaire. You're using it. Yeah, use your instincts. Feel the room, get comfortable with the killer, and get them open. But once they're talking, use the questions because we want people to cross-reference all this stuff. So that's the thing. And of course, the opening scene. We're getting this, opening scene every time.
Another tiny snippet.
Tiny snippet. This one was simple. I mean, it has actually got a lot of information in the sense that we see that this killer has a wife and child.
Yes.
He has a home life, and he's watching a horror movie, and he's just sitting making knots and like, kind of like just very harshly pulling at them, like he's frustrated. He's ready to kill.
Yeah, he's getting close.
But I think the fact that he's got a wife and kid were a big, because you kind of assume loner. It's almost a bigger shock when they've got a family.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that might make it more interesting from the investigation from Holden and Bill's side. Most of the people they're identifying have been loners.
It makes me wonder, because we're building so slow, like, does the crime happen in the finale and it sets up him as someone they can talk to next season? Perhaps.
Yeah, do they have to track him down first, though?
Yeah, maybe, they may have to, this might be more of a, we need to solve this case kind of thing.
I can see it like, okay, we've learned all these things over the course of season 1. Now we have to put it to use.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, we've got 4 episodes left. He's not actually done the crime yet.
I know, and it feels like it needs at least a few episodes. Like every other, even the most basic cases have had a few episodes.
So, yeah. Interesting. So, anyway, that's episode 6. That is episode 6 of Mindhunter. Still solid, of course. Everything moved forward. Some personal stuff, some case stuff. But pointed out some flaws in their kinks, but they have to work out. They have to boil it down to a dialogue that everyone can understand. The jury especially.
Yes.
So,
yes. And I think I'm glad Wendy's now a permanent part of the team. Even though obviously she's kind of been there, we've kind of known she's a series regular, she's here, we get it. But it was nice just to have it in the story capacity.
It was nice for her to make the choice. It was an active choice she had to make to know I'm committing myself to this, because it makes you feel like they're all committed to it now. We've built a team, we've built a little Scooby gang who are going to deal with these cases.
I wonder at what point does she come out to these guys, and I wonder, do they maybe think are they just accepting, or do they go, hey, that's obviously this being the 70s, do they go, hey, that's a bit weird, why are you so interested in all of this other weird stuff?
Holden's case, Holden's crush on her might take a weird turn.
It might, yeah. It suddenly feels extremely unrequited, doesn't it?
It does.
I wonder if Bill has a bit of a suspicion Because it's hinted at this past between them.
You
I
may
don't
even
know.
just know, and
He
maybe,
might do. I mean,
but because it's
she
not his
says
secret.
they don't know. So unless he
Yeah.
knows and she doesn't know that he knows.
Or maybe he does know, and maybe it's just a simple case of it's not his secret to tell, so he's just
Yeah, yeah,
keeping quiet because they've known each other for a while. So,
yeah.
but maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. I wonder if it'll come up because a case is relevant. Like maybe there'll be a gay killer or some kind. Either someone who targets gay people in some way, or the killer themselves is gay, and the psychological sort of differences
Mm.
there might
And she
crop
wants
up.
to offer some insight.
Yeah, and she'll sort of, which is a very weird and bizarre way to come out to someone.
Yeah, I can
But
see them like maybe if they go, oh, it's because of this, and she kind of defends it, obviously.
yeah,
If
perhaps.
if they try and blame the reason they did this on them being gay, and she comes out, to defend it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And we've
I
seen.
like that. Up till this point, we had no idea. It was completely unimportant because
Well, it kind
we
of
had
fits
no
in.
reason to see it.
Yeah, it kind of fits in with what they were talking about in the episode, though, about the whole idea of keeping half of her life secret. That she literally kept this half secret from us. We didn't know about this at all until this moment.
Yeah, it was smart.
So no, it works. So there you go. That's episode 6. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mildfuzztv. You can do that over there, but otherwise that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?